there are moments in your life when you get this feeling that something is going inside of yourself, you don't know where it's coming from, an idea, a thought, something that inspires you. And it's really as if the universe has been dialing specifically your number and you pick up. And I think this is one of the most important things when we talk about the moment when the universe calls you, to not hang up, but to stay on the line. When I got the invitation to talk here on stage from Mindvalley, I was like, wow, this is so amazing, because some of my own personal transformational story actually started with Mindvalley. Because back in the days when I started my own personal growth here in Germany, there was basically nothing. So I looked out in other countries, and then I also found Mindvalley. And so for me, this is today like a circle kind of closing, and also a beautiful manifestation power magic thing happening. So it's really, really nice to be here and to talk to you all. And what I want to talk about today is your soul calling, and the calling why you're here, what you're bringing to this earth. And when I talk about your soul calling, or the calling you have to give to the world, I actually imagine it as something, as the universe really calling you. So there are moments in your life when you get this feeling that something is going inside of yourself, you don't know where it's coming from, an idea, a thought, something that inspires you. And it's really as if the universe has been dialing specifically your number and you pick up. I don't know, do you know this feeling that something is coming from the outside, inside of yourself? And usually something really interesting happens when the universe calls people. What do? They go like, wrong number, can't be me. And I remember a day, it was, I think it was in 2015, I was still in my corporate job. I was working as a music manager back then. I was already like diving a bit into the personal development world and doing like spirituality things and being very excited about it. But I was still in my music management job, and I was sitting at my desk doing like very important emails no one ever cared about. And then there came this moment where I had this call from the universe. And I was literally sitting there writing my email, and then I had this voice saying, you need to write a book. And I was like, what? Where is this coming from? And by that time, I was reading The Secret. I don't know, maybe some of you know this book. This is, I think most of the people kind of, when they start doing like personal development, somehow they find The Secret. So I was reading The Secret, and I was like, wow, this is all so amazing. And so I get this call from the universe, and it says, you should write a book. And for me, to write a book is like the most insane thing that I would ever do. It's like as if I were supposed to sing a song or something. It's like, it won't happen. But as I was reading The Secret, I was like, okay, maybe I could just use what I'm reading right now from The Secret, the idea of being able to manifest things that are very far away. And what it said in the book, that you can write a check to yourself, that you should write a check to yourself. So I was then going to my computer, and I started to type in Google, check from the universe. And I did find like this really super cheesy check from the universe that actually exists in Google. And I clicked on print, and then I went to the printer in my office, and I was standing there hoping that like no colleague would come by to see that what I'm printing, because it was obviously nothing for my work. So I like took this paper, went back to my desk, and I took like a scissor and I cut it out. And then I wrote on this check. And it was really in 2015. I didn't have my podcast yet. I didn't like do anything in this world. I was like totally in this corporate thing still. But I wrote on this check, because I got this call from the universe, I wrote down that I would get a book publishing deal by April 2015. I wrote down the 15th of April in 2017 that I would have a book publishing deal for, I don't know, I think I wrote down something like 50,000 euros, which was for me like the most insane, biggest number I could imagine at that time. And then I went home and like I already had my vision board, and I went like really proud to my vision board. And I still remember like putting that check up on my vision board. And then I kind of didn't look at it again in the next 2 years. But the interesting thing that happened for me is that, and I think this is one of the most important things when we talk about the moment when the universe calls you, to not hang up, but to stay on the line. Like to allow yourself to receive the call. Because there is a reason when the universe actually calls you. There is a reason that it calls your number and not my number. Because the universe knows that you are the person who is supposed to bring exactly that thing into the world. And the question I was thinking about before coming here, because I think this is something very interestingly that happens to so many of us, especially to women. How many of you, since you've been here or to any other seminar, ever had the impulse that you thought, I would like to say something? I actually have a question to what the speaker was just saying, or I would like to contribute something. I have this idea. Did you ever had that impulse when you were something at a conference here, maybe in the last days, that you just went like, oh, I really want to say something? Okay, good, thank you. And how many of you know in this moment, like really the next second, that this voice comes up inside of yourself that says, don't raise your hand? Do you know that? That says, oh no, your question is not that important to be asked. What will the others think when you say something, when you contribute something? They will think that this is not important, or what a stupid comment. Did ever this voice occur inside of yourself, like this bullshit FM radio? Yes, good. And now something really important happens. When the universe calls you, and you receive the call, you pick up and you go like, yeah, hi, universe, okay, I should write a book. What the fuck? But you stay on the line, you don't hang up. And you start to follow that calling. Something magical happens. Because I believe that the universe at the end, the universe doesn't call about you writing that book or doing the podcast or starting your company or whatever it is. The universe, that's not what it is about. What I experienced, what the universe is about healing. It's that your calling, the thing that the universe will give you, specifically you to do, it's giving you because it knows the moment you start to follow that thing and you allow yourself to grow into it, your own biggest healing will occur. Because this thing that you're supposed to do, that is what is shutting up that voice telling you that you're too small, too dumb, too stupid, too whatever, too big, too white, too black, too whatever, to be allowed to do what you want to do. And I think this is so important to understand that the moment you receive that call from the universe, that fear that will rise up in the same moment, I will remember forever when I opened my Google Docs and typed in the title of my book and just was like, okay, what the fuck? I'm just going to start to write because somehow I have to write. But I was so afraid because in school I had like the worst grades in writing. I got like always, I had this thing in my brain that I would always forget words when I write. So I like got always my things from the school back with like so many red marks on it. And I had the strong belief that I cannot write, and especially I cannot write a book. And then about spirituality and my family, I was like, oh my God, they will send me to, I can never come home again. So there were so many things in my head, in my brain, in my heart that made me so afraid to actually do that and to write that book. And the most beautiful thing that happened to me, allowing myself to write that book, is that in myself, this healing was allowed to occur. That healing for myself to see that it is actually important what I have to say. It is important what I want to write down. It is important to share my story. And this is so important for everyone to understand, that the moment when the universe calls you and you pick up that phone, you receive that calling, and you start to follow that calling, it will contain your own most beautiful and intense healing. And I still remember by that time when I started to write that book, and I totally forgot to say that actually I had then on April 2017 the book contract in my mailbox, which was crazy. It was like really manifested on the day. And this is what happens the moment you pick up, the moment you start to follow it. The universe will open you doors that you didn't even know that exist. It will send you signs, it will send you people to guide you. And this beautiful flow of life occurs. And it's so beautiful to be in this thing and to stop resisting, but to really allow yourself to grow into this beautiful being that you are. And I remember here in Berlin by that time when I started shortly before I started to write my first book, there were those commercials from a company that helps people writing books. And it says like in really, really bold, big letters, schreib dein Buch, which is like, write your book. And I remember being like in the bus or in the metro, and everywhere I saw like this huge things like, write your book. And I was like, okay, universe, stop screaming at me. Like, I got it. Okay, I'm going to sit down and write that book. And it was for me so funny. Like whenever I see these pictures, they still somewhere exist here in Berlin. I'm like, okay, I got it. Like I still need to keep writing. And then a month later, after I published the book, I received a call from my publisher. And by that day, I just became a mom for my first son. And I remember being in the bathroom, and my son was on this diaper changing table, like his diaper full of poop. And I had my phone here next to him, and I was changing his diaper. And then I saw my publisher calling, and I like put her on loudspeaker, and she was, Laura, are you sitting? And I was like, no, I'm actually changing the diaper of my son. She was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what just happened? And I was like, yeah, like diaper full of poop, like tell me. And then she said, your book just became a #1 Spiegel bestseller in the first week of publishing it. And I was like, and it was so, thank you. And it was the most bizarre moment for me, because I had like this diaper full of shit in my hand. My son like looking at me like, Mom, and then getting this call about the success of the book. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, but I have to hang up because I like need to get to clear this thing here. And I remember standing there, and that was a beautiful moment for myself. I remember standing there and looking at my son, and it really moves me, because the moment I looked at my son, I understood it was never about that book. It was never about the success of the book. It was about who I'd become writing the book. Who'd I become allowing myself to be bigger and braver than my fears. And all those voices that we all hear when we are children, why we cannot do certain things. And all the fears that people put on ourselves that make us smaller, 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 and take away our potential, our love to life, our love to ourselves. And that moment I hang up and I looked at my son, I was just so proud of myself. Not because I wrote a #1 Spiegel bestseller, which is nice, of course, it's nice and I'm grateful for it. But I understood that what everything is about, and what is about when the universe calls you, you know what the universe wants for you? It's just one thing. It wants you to love yourself. Like truly, deeply, intensely, bravely. And when it calls you, whatever it gives you, whatever the calling is the universe will give you, it gives you because it knows that behind that thing, when you're allowed to receive it, to follow it, and then to let it go, is that there will be love for yourself. And that this is something no one will ever be able to take away from you. And the most beautiful thing, and this is what tonight or today here is also about, is how we can actually change the world, right? How we can bring who we are to the world and change something. And I truly believe that how we can change the world the most is by cultivating love inside of ourselves. Because the problem we have in this world is too many people who are too afraid, who are so full of fear and all these feelings, they don't know what to do with it. And I really hope that the moment the universe calls you the next time, that you pick up. And that you know that it's important to stay in the line and to listen and to follow and to look for the signs that the universe will give you, because there are so many signs. Sometimes they come in this really big wallpaper things into your face. You go like, okay, stop screaming at me. And sometimes they can come in subtle ways, like maybe a postcard or a call from someone else, or something you see, something you feel, something you see in your meditation. And then one day, when you live that calling and when you live into it and when you allow yourself to heal all of this, what was taking yourself from stopping what you want to do, there will come the day when you can let that calling go, because you understand it was never about it. It was never about you launching that podcast, you having that website, you doing whatever. It's just in the outside. And everything in the outside will actually come automatically the moment you have it internally. And I would like to invite you to do a little meditation with me, to pick up the phone. Not really your phone, but your inner phone. So please find a comfortable seat. Put away everything that is disturbing you. Put your feet on the ground. And if you want, put your hands on your lap or on your knees, upside. And bring your shoulders to your ears, roll them back so that you can have like this really upside sitting posture and your heart can open. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out through your mouth. And one more deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Let it all out. Beautiful. One more deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Let it all go. Beautiful. And from here, allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. And imagine that you can enter your inner world, bringing all your senses to the inside and giving yourself a beautiful inner smile, just saying hi to yourself. Because maybe this day has been very inspiring and you had many new ideas and you were a lot in the outside, and now is the time to go inside. Because whatever is in the inside, you will experience in the outside. And we so often try to change something in the outside to feel better in the inside. But we all know better. So imagine from here to find your way into your heart center. Imagine your heart being a room that you can enter. This beautiful room filled with love and joy and relaxation. And the moment you enter your heart, your entire body can relax deeper and deeper. And feel your heartbeat here, your beautiful, brave heart. And imagine that in your heart, there's a telephone. You can imagine like this really old telephones people had 20 20 years ago, where you cannot see who's calling. And imagine this phone is now ringing. And you have this feeling already that this is a very important call you are going to receive now. And you're not sure if you should pick up, because you know if you pick up, that call will change your life. But you feel somehow it's the right moment. You can trust. You can pick up. You're ready. So you go to that phone and you pick up. And on the other side, there's the universe calling you. And the universe says, hi, thank you. Thank you for finally picking up. We tried for so long to reach you. And the universe has a message for you. It's calling you to do something. And I give you some time now to listen. What is it that the universe calls you to do? What's your calling? Why are you here? And now just receive it. Just receive it. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know when. All you have to do right now is to receive and to be with it. And when you feel inside of that calling, when you receive it, look at what is on the other side of it. Which fear does come up? What thoughts come up? Like maybe you cannot do this. This is too big. You're not ready. Someone else can do it so much better. Why me? And allow yourself here to be very present with all those fears, with all of those thoughts that want to keep you away from actually following that calling. Be present with it, feel it. And I want you to imagine that the fear you have when you think about pursuing your dream, pursuing your calling, when you think about that fear that is on the other side, holding you back, I want you to think about the first moment in your life when you experienced that fear for the first time. Maybe you were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Maybe someone told you you're not good enough. You're not important enough. Maybe not even someone told you. Maybe someone just gave you the feeling or not the attention. And I need you to understand that all the fears you have today, as this beautiful, grown-up human being, all those fears are fears that were created when you were little, when you didn't know how to do it better or differently, and when you had to believe the outside, their judgments about you. And now, when you see yourself here as this little child, and someone giving you the feeling of not being able to pursue your dreams, maybe you did even grow up in a family system where it was not allowed to dream big, where it was not good to dream big. where people were afraid to be successful, shining, great. Imagine how you yourself, as this grown-up, beautiful human being, how you can approach this beautiful inner child inside of yourself and tell her or him how amazing, how beautiful, how smart, how strong and how brave he or she is. And that really absolutely nothing from all the things that you've been told as a child about not being good enough, they are simply not true. They were maybe true for others, but they are not for you. And imagine how you yourself, with the love you have inside of yourself, can give your inner child here this moment of relaxation, of healing, of loving yourself. And give your inner child here a beautiful, beautiful hug and tell him or her, I love you. And I will do everything I can to heal. And I will answer that calling. And then imagine from here that your inner child has this beautiful, beautiful place inside of your heart where he or she is safe, secure, and loved. And imagine yourself from here following your calling. Imagine how you really start to live into that calling. And that today, when you walk out here of this beautiful room and event, that you go home and that you follow that calling. And that you always remember, it's not about that thing that I want to do. It's about who I become. It's about the potential of myself, of my soul, that I can bring to the world. And I want you to see yourself going into your future and seeing yourself in a year from now. Maybe in a year from now at the next Mindvalley event, you're here, sitting here. And everything you wanted to manifest today is there. It's now in the outside. And I want you to tune into this feeling of being so proud of yourself. And tap also into this feeling of loving yourself. Loving yourself for making this brave and beautiful step towards your own healing journey. And to stop listening to those fears that are holding you back. And I want you to put your hands on your heart and imagine really yourself sitting here in a year from now. Everything that your calling was is true. It's here, it's in the outside. You're at the conference, you tell everyone about what happened. You can feel it, it's there. You can show it to other people. And I want you to soak up this gratitude. Like really allow every cell inside of your body to vibrate in this gratitude. The gratitude of being yourself, of having answered that calling. And imagine the universe standing behind you and applauding you and going like, woohoo, you did it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing love into this universe. Thank you for being so brave. And just take yourself here for a moment into this heart space of gratitude. And imagine how all of our hearts here in this moment connect in the gratitude. And how you not only celebrate yourself, but also everyone here in this room. And how your heart goes like, yay, thank you for doing that. Thank you that you also answered that calling. And allow yourself to connect here with all those beautiful hearts, all those beautiful dreamers, all those beautiful souls. And remember, we are all on the same journey, and we all walk each other home. And then take a deep breath in here. Bring your attention back to your body. Give yourself a beautiful smile. Take another deep breath in. Breath out. And then take your hands into prayer in front of your heart as a sign of balance and acceptance and peace, and bow before yourself here in this beautiful moment. Give thanks to life, to yourself, to the universe for all the guidance. And then take one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Open your eyes, come back into this beautiful moment, and take a moment to look at the person sitting next to you. And just say, thank you for accepting the call. And if you feel like it feels good, give each other a big hug. Just 1 second, then you can hug again. What I do in my seminars to silence everyone is to do an om. So just chant with me. Om. Thank you. Thank you. It always works. Thank you. So thank you so much for going with me on this beautiful journey towards your calling. And I am so excited to hopefully see you here next year, and looking into all your faces, and everyone would come to me and say like, Laura, you won't believe what happened. And I was like, I do believe. I knew a year ago already. So just thank you so much for being here. I wish you a beautiful night and evening today, and pick up, okay? Pick up, follow, and love yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.